Hello everyone, I'm Thamarai Kunasakaran from Financial Mathematics, second year. My matrix number is S4424O and I would like to present my project, my theory probability in finance project which we did in a group, and I would like to thank my lecturer, Dr. Hasila Saleh, who guided us throughout the project. Now we proceed to the introduction. Let's see about the random. Random is an action that happens without order or without reason, and in mathematics and statistics, random relates to a type of circumstance or event that is described by a probability distribution. And for a variable, it is a characteristic number or quantity that increases or decreases over time or takes different value in different situations. It also divided into two types, which are the independent and dependent. Independent variable is that can take different values that can cause corresponding changes in other variables. And dependent it's defined as a variable that can take different values only in response to an independent variable. And we proceed to the random variables. It is a function that maps outcomes to a numerical quantity, typically real numbers. In finance, random variables such as future stock price or return are quantities not known in advance. A random variable also divided into two types, which are the discrete and continuous. Discrete is defined as can take any of a specified finite or countable list of value endowed with the probability mass function characteristic of the random variable's probability distribution. And continuous is defined also as takes any numerical value on interval or collection of intervals via a probability density function that is characteristic of the random variable's probability distribution. Okay, then we move to the random variable that we research about in this project. In our study, we did research on the stock price of Apple Incorporation, which is AAPL stock. Stock price is the cost of purchasing security on an example and can be affected by volatility in the market, current economic conditions, and popularity of the company. We did research on stock price of Apple companies in order to study about the random variable in our project. So the stock price will be increased, decreased, or unchanged due to some reasons. In finance, we can explain the value of the upcoming stock price, whether it is going to be increased, decreased, or unchanged by calculating the probability from the data that we get. The more data we get, the more accurate the calculation will be. So we took the stock price from the 2 months from 2nd October 2017 to the 19th November 2017, excluding the weekends for study. From the data, we managed to get the value or probability from the stock price to increase. So we can see the probability for the stock price to increase is the highest among the other probabilities but we need to concern about, because different value of P and increase and decrease are very small between each other. The probability for the stock price is to be unchanged is too small, which we can say that it is impossible to happen. This is because the stock price will always change due to some effects. Now we move on to the moments. Okay, according to Apple company's data analysis, we managed to find moments based on the data. From the graph of distribution, we can see the type of distribution we plotted. The graph by using random variables, the movement can categorize into four types, which is the zeroth movement is the total probability, and the first movement is the mean, and second movement is the variance. Next, the third movement could be the skewness and kurtosis in the fourth movement. As the mean depends on the first movement of the data, so do the variance and standard deviation depend on second moment. Skewness is the degree of asymmetry of distribution around its mean. The known dimensional quantities are standard deviation, mean, and average deviation. Thus, the standard deviation is 8.0345, and we get the standard deviation from the variance, which we square root the 64.55335. Okay, therefore the graph of distribution shows a continuous probability distribution but discrete random variable. And the methodology, we use several formulas to calculate mean, variance, skewness, and kurtosis. For calculate the mean, we use this formula: ES equals to summation n I equals to 1. By using this formula, we calculate the mean for this stock price data, and also we use the variance formula to calculate the variance. And the formula for the skewness is this one, and also the formula for the kurtosis is A4 is equals to summation xi minus mean is 4 to the power of 4 over ns to the power of 4. So now we see the stock price chart, which is from the Apple company's data analysis. So now we move on to the discussion. From this data, there are three possible outcomes: whether the stock increase, decrease, or remain unchanged at the end of the day. Based from this data, the probability of the stock price to increase, decrease, or remain unchanged at the end of the day is 0.51, 0.44, and 0.05 respectively. The distribution of this graph is continuous probability distribution but with discrete variables. It is because where the number of the discrete values is approach infinity, the continuous distribution is needed in order to model the discrete variable. The mean, variance, and standard deviation of this graph is 164.776 and 64.5535 and 8.0345 respectively. Skewness is usually described as measure of data sets symmetry of lack of symmetry. It can be defined as this formula. And the kurtosis is all about measuring the tail heaviness of the distribution, where the n is the sample size, xi is the ith x value, x is the average, and s is the sample standard deviation. Since the exponent in the above is 4, then the term in the summation is always positive, regardless whether xi is above or below average. From this data, its kurtosis is 1.284. Since the kurtosis is greater than 0, then the distribution has heavier tails and is called leptokurtic distribution. And finally, we conclude our project. In conclusion, from the data analysis of Apple companies for random variable, the distribution and moments that the increasing and decreasing of stock price type of distribution and the variance of moment due to the changes in stock price. We did the research in finding the distribution graph in order to discover whether it's a normal, discrete, or continuous distribution. We plotted the distribution graph, which shows the continuous probability distribution by discrete random variable using the random variable, which is the data taken from the stock price from the Apple company. Mean and variance of the first and second moment, which is found from the distribution graph. As the mean depends on the first moment of the data, so they do the variance and standard deviation on second moment. Moreover, and the third and fourth moments, which are the skewness and kurtosis, also found through the distribution graph too. It's a continuous probability distribution but discrete random variable. Thank you very much.